Today I'm going to be giving a review of my 2025 MasterSpa Twilight 8.2 series hot tub. And before we get started, I just wanted to note that I'm not an expert in hot tubs or maintenance and chemicals, but we're going to talk about a lot of it, and hopefully we can learn a good amount of information about this model, since there isn't too much out there besides what is provided on, say, YouTube from the manufacturer itself. So the one you're seeing right here is the sterling silver marble color, and then the graphite exterior, so the gray exterior here. This is all made out of plastic for the exterior, but it's definitely really heavy duty, super easy to clean, and yeah, it works. It looks really nice as well. Our shell here, super great quality looking, and has a great design to it and cleans up really nicely. So some things to note: there's a couple different Twilight models available. There's this one, that's the 8.2. There's the 8.25, 7.2, 7.25, 6.2, and there might, and I think there's just a 6.2. The main difference between them, obviously the smallest tub is a 6.2, 7.2 gets a little bit bigger, and then the 8.2 is the biggest one that you can see right here. Now the difference between the 8.25 and the 8.2 is the 8.25 does not have a lounger seat like this one right here. So mine, I have the 8.2, has the lounger, and I really enjoy that seat. Otherwise, you would just be getting 2 extra seats here, basically similar to the ones on the other side. You know, I think it's great having the lounger, and it's a great feature because, you know, most of the time you're gonna have 1 or 2 people in here tops. It's great to have those options on there. Mine, when I purchased it, did come with a good amount of accessories from my dealer that I bought it from. Included in my price, I had received obviously the hot tub. I got my cover included, which we can see here. I also got a cover cap, they kind of call it. It's kind of just like this piece that goes over top of the cover to protect it over time from like UV rays and you know, dirt and grime. And I also had received a cover lifter, so the cover can be lifted out of place to use the tub fairly easily. And then I also had received some steps, and then a box of startup chemicals, a hose pre-filter, so when you fill up the hot tub, you kind of want to use this filter to filter out your hose water a bit more so it gets some of that bad stuff out of it before it goes into the tub. And then 2 sets of filters, so 4 total. Now moving on here to our control dial. This is actually a new design for 2025. A lot of people say that it's kind of like a Google Nest thermostat where you turn the sides of it and you press down like a big button to select an item. No, it is not a touch screen, so you just have to slide the dial around and press down to select. So first setting here, we obviously have our temperature that we can increase up or down, and I believe the maximum you're allowed to do is 104 on this tub. I like keeping mine at 101. And then over here we have the flip, so you can flip the orientation of the screen to use it whether you're inside the tub or outside the tub. We have our settings here, which you can scroll through to see some of the different options. And then we have our lights. I'm going to show a night demonstration of all the different lights that there are available. All you do is you press down once to turn them on or off, and if you want to switch between the different color modes, you double tap it, and that'll switch the different colors. There's a good number to choose from. Besides the solid colors, there is also a slow fade mode, which fades between all the colors, and then one that's more of a disco mode, which rapidly switches between the colors. Not my cup of tea for sure. And then we have our pump 1 and pump 2. You can individually turn each of these on or off. And then we have all on and off, so that turns on both of the pumps as well as the lights in one single button. Now talking about the jets in the tub, I'd say that they're really great. Super high quality stainless steel. What's a really cool feature is every single one, you can actually turn them on and off if you don't like them or per se. All you have to do is twist it to make it more powerful or less powerful. Something else you can actually do too, which I haven't tried out though myself, is you can actually twist them a bit more to take them out and then swap them out in different locations for other jets in the tub. If you like say want a certain one in a certain area, so that's pretty cool. Over here we have our pump diverters. Something that I didn't know when I actually bought this tub, and being a new hot tub owner, is you can't actually have all the jets on at the same exact time, at least on this model. So if you're gonna plan on having, you know, this fully decked out with as many people as it allows, not everybody is gonna be having jets on at the same time, unfortunately. So say like this pump right here, if I twist this knob, you'll see my lounger seat gets a lot more action over there, but then that actually takes away from on this side and like some of the foot pumps down in the middle there. Same thing over here, turning it will increase action in some different areas. So that's something that is good to know. And then this one right here will turn on and off our waterfall feature. And then this one right here, you will see two more of them over there. These are actually our air control valves. They kind of increase the force of the jets by adding some air bubbles into them, and I usually have them on. Now, if we take this cover off, which is pretty cool by the way, we have some cup holders, a little slot that you can put like your phone or an iPad to watch something when you're in the tub. The other neat thing is that it does float, so you can kind of have it floating around with like your drinks on it. Although I would say if the jets are on, I probably should not have a drink on this and have this thing floating around. Probably would tip over. But inside here we have our filters. This one is called the Eco Pure Charge, which is the orange one. And then over here we have like our normal filter. And all we do to take them in and out is just loosen them up, and then you can pull it right out. And then you just put it, there's kind of like a little hole down there, and then it just easily twists back in. Super easy, just like that. You want to replace these. The manufacturer says the Eco one every 6 months, the normal one once per year, or sooner if it shows deterioration. Now I clean these once a week in the summertime, or if it's in good weather, I'll use the hose outside, but if it's winter and it's too cold to use the hose, I'll just bring them into the kitchen sink to rinse them off. Now the orientation that you put these in does matter. The Eco one, the orange one, you want to have next to the screen over here on the right side, and then the normal one over here on the left side. And one other tip, when you first get your tub and you're filling it up for the first time, make sure that you place your hose inside one of the holes of the filter that we just saw on the bottom down there, to kind of avoid an airlock situation where there's air like kind of in the lines. Just don't just like throw your hose like right in the middle of the tub and fill it up from there. You want to have all the water go down there, and it'll eventually come out of the jets and stuff and fill up the rest of the tub. Also down here, you kind of see this little flappy thing. It looks like it shouldn't be in this position. You have these kind of holes right here. It seems like it should snap in and stay upright, but actually that's not right. It's supposed to be down like this and kind of move around. Kind of an odd design, but just so you know, it's not broken if it looks like this. The tub does come standard with Wi-Fi control and this free app. Some things you can do on here, like increase or decrease the temperature. You can turn on pump 1 and pump 2 remotely here. And then we have some different settings that we can mess around with. We can kind of see reminders and set reminders. I don't use that, which is why it says overdue. And then we can just see like some other water care stuff. So that's pretty much it. A few other maintenance things is you want to kind of rinse the spa pillows. So you can kind of take them off. They're really easy to just pop on, pop back in. And there's 1, 2, 3 of those. And even this cover right here, and just kind of bring them in and rinse them with some at your sink with some soap and water, and just to keep them fresh and get some of the chemicals off them periodically. I probably like 3-4 times a year, I would probably say. And then, you know, it's always good just to wipe your shell with a microfiber cloth and get some of that dirt and stuff off of there. And then you want to make sure you get a tub vacuum, so any kind of dirt and sand that gets on the bottom of the tub, you can like kind of vacuum that up with that machine. As far as the water level goes, what they usually say is you want to have it be around right where the lights are mounted on the side of the tub. There's also a little sticker inside here that tells you the optimal minimum level and highest level it can be. I usually find myself filling this back up every 3 weeks with around 7 or 8 gallons of water. And I kind of just use a 5-gallon bucket and fill it up in the wintertime when I can't use the hose to put some more water back into the tub. Some other cool features of the tub that you will see is we have the standard clips, 2 on each side to keep the cover down. What is pretty cool about them though is they have a little key that you can actually, the tub comes with, that you can actually put in there and lock the clips in place. So say if you have small children and you don't want them going inside the tub, you know, if you're not home, you can actually lock the clips in place to keep it secure with that key, which is pretty cool. And then on the outside of the tub at nighttime, you automatically have this kind of blue strip light on each side of the tub. A lot of people don't like this. I find it kind of cool, but there is not a way on the screen to actually turn this off. I saw some people kind of like unplug it, take each side off and unplug it, or I was told there's like a solar sensor somewhere that you can like put some electrical tape on it. But just so you know that you have some lights on the side of the tub that will always be on. The delivery process was pretty smooth actually. At least my drivers came in with it on a trailer, and then they kind of pushed it over to my position, although, you know, mine wasn't in a hard spot. There was no, you know, 20-foot deck or something of all these steps they had to really go up and have it be installed at. But they did a pretty good job fairly quickly getting it all done. And if you do get the cover lifter when you do purchase at the dealer, at least mine, they also installed that for me too when they got here, because there's, you know, you kind of have to like put a lot of screws inside the side of the tub and everything, kind of line it all up correctly. So that's something that they also did complimentary when they brought it here to do the install. Now, one thing that they don't do is hook it up to the electric. So my electrician came out the next day, and we had already previously made our disconnect box. Just make sure that the NEC electrical code, it has to be at least 5 feet away from the inside wall of the spa. So it's 5 feet away from here where the water is, not 5 feet away from the outside of the spa. So in case you're in pretty close quarters like I am right here, where I just made it in my area here. So what I kind of did is we kind of had to go underneath my paver patio here, and then you can see it pop back up in the bottom down there. And all we did is kind of screw or drill out a little hole in the side of the wood on the bottom of the tub, and then we're easily able to hook it up to the inside. One thing to tell your electrician ahead of time is to not use a certain brand of breaker called an Eaton breaker. You can actually look it up online. For some reason, those breakers always end up tripping on MasterSpa products. I'm not sure why, but just make sure that they don't get one of those breakers. This one is recommended by a lot of people, the Siemens 50 amp breaker here. And lastly, let's talk about the electric bill. You know, with this Twilight 8.2 series, how much has my electricity bill increased? So for context, I live in New Jersey. We have a utility company called PSE&G. And I've been noticing, depending on, you know, if it's summertime or wintertime, because obviously summertime the tub won't have to, you know, use as much energy to warm up all the time. I would say on average per month, my bill has increased by $50 to $80. And that's with us going inside the tub 2 or 3 times a week for around 30 or 40 minutes at a time. Otherwise, the cover is always on, unless I'm adding chemicals in it in the tub or cleaning it, but just to give you like an idea. So that pretty much wraps up the video. If you have any comments or questions, please put them down below and I'll try to answer them. And I would recommend you join a Facebook group called MasterSpa Owners. On there, there's thousands of people who own MasterSpa hot tubs and swim spas, and there's always questions on there, lots of great information. So that's kind of what I learned a lot of the things that I know from that Facebook group. So check that out. Thanks for watching. See you later.